Privacy and data protection by design mean you architect systems, so security and privacy are built in from day one, not patched on later. In this module, we'll connect your technical choices to GDPR-style obligations, user trust, and regulators' expectations for responsible data handling, so design decisions and compliance outcomes stay tightly aligned. Traditionally, security focused on keeping attackers out, while privacy focused on keeping regulators satisfied. Secure by Design merges these into a single obligation, protecting people and their data as one system. You can't be secure if you keep toxic data you don't need, and you don't have privacy if your secure vault is effectively left unlocked. You can think of Secure by Design as the mechanics, engineering systems so data stays confidential, accurate, and reliably available. Privacy by Design is the mandate layer. Regulators care that data use is lawful, transparent, and minimized. Where those meet, you get data protection by design, the regulatory sweet spot. Our aim in this course is to consistently operate in that overlap, so technical controls directly support legal duties and accountability. GDPR Article 25 turns privacy from a late-stage checkbox into a hard engineering requirement. In the old model, teams designed, built, and tested first, then asked at the end, is this privacy compliant? That's where painful rework, delays, or risky go-lives came from. The by design model flips this. Privacy requirements shape design, drive how we build, and are verified in testing. Data minimization, pseudonymization, and safe defaults become core architecture decisions, not optional add-ons. Minimization is one of the most powerful secure by design moves you can make. The rule is simple. Data you never collect can never be breached, leaked, or subpoenaed. Design every product function to ask, what is the smallest, truly adequate data set we need to deliver this feature? Anything beyond that isn't an asset. It's attack surface and liability. Secure by Design isn't only about protecting live data, it's about planning its death. Zombie data, kept long after its purpose is gone, creates unnecessary breach impact, regulatory risk, and storage cost. Think of the lifecycle as 4 in 4 stages: lawful collection, purpose-bound processing, tightly controlled archival, and then automated destruction. The key takeaway: if your architecture can't reliably delete or anonymize data, the moment retention rules say time's up, it's not compliant and it's not secure. Identity and access controls decide not just what attackers can reach, but what legitimate insiders can see and do. A support engineer may need ticket data, but has no business reading raw customer PII. A developer might need logs and error details, but not full production records. Regulators expect this to be engineered through least privilege, segregation of duties, and often attribute-based access control. So every access is tied to a specific, justified purpose. User rights like access, erasure, portability, and restriction are not just legal promises. They are design constraints on your data architecture. To honor them at scale, records must be modeled so a system can reliably find all data about this person, then export, delete, or restrict it without side effects. That means indexing, partitioning, and APIs are shaped by these rights. Privacy by design is fundamentally a query and data modeling problem. Threat modeling for privacy harms flips the usual script. Instead of asking, how could an attacker break the system, we ask, how could our design hurt the person behind the data? That shifts attention to risks like re-identification, unlawful retention, and excessive exposure, often through linkability across datasets, not just classic exploits like SQL injection. Regulators increasingly expect not just secure systems, but systems that can prove what actually happened. That's where transparent, verifiable logging comes in. Every critical action, access, change, deletion, needs a trustworthy record. These logs underpin incident response, investigations, customer assurances, and regulatory evidence. In practice, logging becomes the bridge between our security promises and demonstrable reality. Integrating privacy into the SDLC means treating it like any other engineering control, not an after-the-fact policy checklist. During planning, you run impact assessments to decide what data you actually need and which flows are acceptable. During coding, reviewers actively look for PII leakage and misuse of logs, caches, or analytics. During testing, you automate checks for retention limits and erasure. Privacy and security architecture reviews should happen as one conversation at the same time. A practical way to think about cross-jurisdictional design is to choose a single global core architecture and tune it to the toughest rules. GDPR and UK regimes typically drive your privacy baseline. CISA guidance tends to drive your security and resilience baseline. If you design products, data flows, and defaults to satisfy those combined expectations by default, serving less stringent markets usually becomes a configuration and documentation exercise, not a redesign. Secure by design isn't just about avoiding fines, it's about turning trust into a core product feature. When you design for privacy and security upfront, you differentiate your brand, shrink breach impact by holding less risky data, and earn long-term customer loyalty because people stay where they feel safe. As a leader, your job is to make secure by design the normal way you build. Treat privacy as a hard requirement, not a marketing slogan. Shrink the data you hold and automate its lifecycle. Prove your claims with logging and evidence, and most importantly, align product, security, and platform through shared architecture decisions.